guys, Gotham here, back with another video. So for this week's video, I wanted to do something slightly different. So what I'm going to be doing this week is 7 days of stretching every day for 60 minutes. Now the reason I want to do this video is because for the longest time I used to have really tight muscles. It was just from years and years of working out and not really giving stretching the importance or the priority that it kind of deserved. So what I've decided to do now, or what I want to find out actually, is if I stretch for 60 minutes a day every day for 7 days, how much improvement am I going to see in my flexibility? So there's a place in Singapore that's called Dr. Stretch. It's actually a Japanese company, but they have a lot of outlets in Singapore now. They do full body stretching for you. So the reason I want to do it there instead of doing 60 minutes of stretching at home by myself is because I feel like if I go over there, they can actually push me a little bit further in terms of stretching. Whereas if I was to do the stretching at home by myself, I'd probably not be pushing past the limits that I currently am able to push through by myself. So by going there, I'm hoping that they would be able to stretch me more and do a deeper stretch for me so that by the end of the week, I would actually be more flexible than I currently am right now. So that's basically the idea. They do have a 60-minute or a 90-minute session. So I'm going to do 60 minutes every day. In the beginning, we're going to do some tests to show you my current flexibility. And also at the end, we'll do the same test to show you whether or not I've increased in my flexibility. So I'm really looking forward to this. Stretching and mobility and stuff is something that I'm starting to place of higher importance in my life right now. I neglected it for too long, and over the past year I've realized how important it is for just overall health and well-being. And being more flexible and having better mobility actually translates into better performance in the gym as well. So that's something that's really important to me, and part of the reason why I'm actually really looking forward to this. So stay tuned, stick around if you want to see how the week goes. I'm really excited for this, and I'm excited to show you the progress that I make this week. Hi guys, it's day one today and I'm here at Dr. Stretch. If you're from Singapore, this is the Singpo Center location. So I'm actually here with Mirza. He is the assistant shop chief, and he has very kindly allowed me to film here over the next 7 days. So what we're going to be doing is he's going to take some measurements to see my flexibility right now, and then we're going to do some measurements again midweek, and then once more at the end of the week, just to see how much flexibility I've gained. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So Mirza, should we get started?
Alright, let's go. Hi guys.
Right. Before we started with the stretching, we took a few measurements. First we checked my height, and then Mirza wanted to see if I could touch the floor without bending my legs. The measurement that they use is the distance from your wrist to the floor, which is deeper than just getting your fingertips to touch the ground. My wrists were about 28 centimeters away from the ground, so not very good at all. But that just meant more room for improvement, so I felt motivated to get better. The next measurement was to check my upper body rotation, so he asked me to twist my body while keeping my feet flat on the floor. After that, he asked me to straighten my arms, and he measured the distance from where my arm was to where it should be, which was somewhere around 90 degrees. We measured both sides, and the results were also not very good. I hadn't really thought about my own ability to rotate or twist my body, so I was a little concerned, but I felt good that I was doing something about it. I couldn't wait to see how much improvement I would make by the end of the week. After we were done with the measurements, we then moved on to the stretching. On day one, we decided to focus on my lower body. Since I was doing 7 days of stretching in a row, we decided that we should do an upper body and lower body split. And since my lower body tends to be tighter than my upper body, we decided that day 1, 3, 5, and 7, we would focus on my legs and my hips. And on day 2, 4, and 6, we'll focus on all the upper body area. So it's day 2, I've just got to Dr. Stretch. I forgot to mention yesterday that Mirza is going to be stretching me this entire week. So Normally he has 2 days off a week, but he decided this week that he would come in on his off days to stretch me. He just wanted to make sure that I was getting the best service possible. So yeah, it's really nice of him to do that. And I didn't get a chance to ask him a lot of questions since yesterday was the first day. But later on this week, maybe tomorrow, I'm just going to ask him some questions about what it's like to work here and what are his recommendations for people who want to become more flexible and increase their mobility, whether they should come once a week or how often should they come and things like that. So I'll check with him tomorrow. So after day 1 and 2, I was feeling really good. My muscles were feeling looser. I started to feel like just those 2 sessions already helped with loosening my muscles, and I felt like I was making progress. By day 3 and 4, I sort of had the same feelings, but I started to get used to the feeling of stretching every day and feeling loose and light every day. I really liked the feeling, and at this point I just felt like I wanted to keep going to see how much progress I could make. The feeling of 60 minutes of stretching is very different than 60 minutes of getting a massage. Usually after the massage you tend to feel very relaxed. It eases your muscle soreness, it helps to get rid of any muscle tension, whereas the feeling of stretching almost feels a little bit like a mini workout. You do get that feeling of doing something that is beneficial to your long-term health. So when you're done, you actually feel good about yourself. I'm not saying that you don't feel good about yourself after a massage, but it feels a little bit different. You feel like you're doing something that's going to benefit you over the long term and contribute to your long-term health. Toward days 6 and 7 is when I started to feel like I was making some good progress. I've never really felt in over 10 years what it feels like to have loose muscles and to have a good range of mobility. So doing stretching for 60 minutes every day really gave me that ability to feel what it's like to have loosened up muscles. And I didn't just feel the benefits in my muscles, I was feeling it all over my body, in my mind, in my attitude, in just throughout the day. I just felt more relaxed. I didn't feel any tension. I wasn't feeling any sort of aches and pains that I might normally feel from sitting down at my desk doing work. So those are really the big things that I noticed. When we took the final measurements on day 7, my height had actually increased by 2 centimeters. That was crazy. I was not expecting that at all. I went from 184 centimeters to 186 centimeters. Very, very impressive. The next measurement was to see if I could get my wrist to touch the ground. I couldn't do that in the beginning, and there was no way that I was going to be able to do that after just 7 days of stretching, but I wanted to see how much I could improve. In the beginning, I was about 28 centimeters from putting my wrist on the ground, but by day 7, I had improved by 12 centimeters. I was 16 centimeters away from putting my wrist on the ground. So as you can see, I just touched the ground with my fingertips, and from my fingertips to my wrist is about 16 centimeters. So that's how the measurement came out as 16 centimeters. Over the 7 days, my rotational ability had improved by about 20 centimeters to my left and my right, and I was also able to bend lower by about 12 centimeters. That was a significant improvement, and I was very happy with the results. I wanted to get some advice for you guys, so I asked Mirza if he could sit down to answer some questions. Hi guys, so I've got Mirza here with me just to ask him some questions which you guys are probably wondering about at home. So the first thing I want to ask you, Mirza, is how important is stretching?
Well, stretching is actually very important that we actually need to incorporate into our daily habits. So let me share with you some of the benefits of stretching.
Yeah, sure.
So firstly is it helps you to increase your muscle flexibility, reduce your muscle tightness, improve blood circulation.
Yeah.
And through the improvement of blood circulation, then you can actually sleep better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And on top of that, you can actually improve your mobility.
Yeah. Okay. So the stretching, like this past week, from what I've noticed, the stretching that you guys do here is very specialized. So can you share a little bit about what the training is like that you guys go through?
Right. So for the training, we actually go through a 3 months process.
Okay.
That's during my time.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the first month,
Yeah.
or maybe the first 3 weeks, is a lot of memorization of the stretch skills.
Okay.
Practicing the stretch skills and a lot of role play.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because we might be facing customers with all sorts of different conditions.
I see. Can you tell me what's the difference between stretching for 60 minutes at home versus stretching for 60 minutes here?
Right, so for 60 minutes stretching at home, what you actually get is you only be able to reach a certain limit. So
Okay.
once you reach a certain limit, you can't actually go more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have trouble doing it on your own.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you won't be able to get into certain positions to target the muscle,
Yeah.
the muscle specifically.
Right. Okay.
So with 60 minutes stretching here,
Yeah.
what you get is actually someone to assist you
Yeah.
and allow you to move.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So push you beyond your limits.
Okay. All right. So if I were to try to do these stretches at home, what you're saying is I would probably hit a plateau and I wouldn't be able to push past that plateau by myself.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
That's right.
All right. What's the difference in the benefits of getting a massage or versus doing stretching?
Right. So I believe if you go to a massage, you will see or notice that there's a lot of pressure, trigger point release.
Yes.
It's downwards force.
Yeah.
Okay. But with stretching, the idea of it is actually to lengthen up the muscle, to elongate the muscle.
Okay.
So we may be pressing it.
Yeah.
There are some massage elements.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's to actually, at the end of the day, we want to actually lengthen it to have a longer stretch effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say massage is more for getting rid of soreness and stretching is more for mobility?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some elements to it. Yeah.
Okay. How long do the effects of stretching last for?
Okay. This depends on your daily habits or what's your lifestyle. Okay. So if you were to have a sedentary lifestyle, okay, with no workouts and such, then probably it will last about 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah. But if, for example, someone is active, okay, so that means you work out a lot, then the stretch effect might last maybe between 3 to 5 days.
Okay, so that's a perfect segue into my last question, which is how often should somebody do stretching? A lot of people don't have access to places like this, so if they're just stretching at home, how often should they stretch?
Right, so stretching, as I repeat again, is very important.
Yeah.
So if you can, please try to do it every single day.
Every day, guys. Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Okay, but if everybody's busy, the minimal is actually 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
At least about 30 to 60 minutes.
Okay. All right, guys. So you heard it from Mirza. Try to stretch at least 3 times a week if you're sedentary. If you work out frequently, then try to stretch more than that every day if you can, even if it's just for a little while. It's very important for your flexibility. It's very important for your mobility, and those tend to be things that a lot of us take for granted. So start doing it. Start with a little bit if you can, just 5-10 minutes a day, and then try to work up from there. And if you find stretching at home to be difficult, then if you live in Singapore, you can come to a place like this. Maybe this will help you get started on improving your mobility. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, it's been a great week, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I just want to say thank you again to you and the staff for letting me film here all week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For supporting Not a Stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Hi guys, so before we end this video, I just want to ask, if you did enjoy this video and you do want to see more challenges from me, then please like and subscribe, and also leave some details in the comments as to what kind of videos and challenges you want to see me doing in the future.